Drop your location and your local time in the comments. He's curious who's tuning in while this all unfolds. He steps through his brownstone's heavy door, riding the afterglow of a career win so big it should come with confetti and dental coverage, then freezes. Smoke rolls down the hallway like a gray carpet. Nobody ordered buttery, 1 second acrid the next, as if a marshmallow took out life insurance and lost. The kitchen hisses and crackles. Heat licks his cheeks. The alarm chirps a rhythm that could chart on TikTok if it weren't busy wrecking his hearing. He rounds the island and stops. The oven yawns, fiery orange cabinet faces blistering a cake pan, welded into a charcoal sculpture, and beside it stands a woman with champagne blonde frizz floral apron and oven mitts big enough to moonlight as boxing gloves. For one beat, he thinks wrong movie set. The next beat smells like burned sugar and enamel, definitely his house. She whips around, indignant, claims this is her home, 37 years, every creak a memory, and points at him like he's the burglar who brought a suit to a crime. Get out before I call the police. He answers evenly that he is home deed and mailbox to prove it, but logic lands like a paper airplane in a hurricane. Side joke, he considers offering a tour, but the tour guide is currently on fire. He reaches for the extinguisher by the pantry. She slides between him and the red can with grandmotherly footwork that would win Tuesday pickleball. The smoke alarm hits a high note. He coughs. Somewhere a saucepan pings like it's trying to tap out Morse code for help. Her story pivots on a dime. She came to bake angel food. The newfangled oven is cheap. And also, he started the fire, possibly through mean vibes. Historians still argue whether angel food cake is named for texture or patience, but they'd agree this specimen auditioned for the other choir. Quirky tidbit of the day, ancient Egyptians allegedly used crocodile dung sunscreen, unclear SPF, but even they wouldn't moisturize a cake with open flame. He lifts his phone, starts recording because witnesses with batteries tend to remember better than people with oven mitts. Light joke for the stress, if irony had a fire code, it would cite everyone here and bill per smoke particle. She dials 911 and performs terror, like she's up for an award voice, quivering keywords flying very large, aggressive in my house, and one loaded descriptor that tilts the table before the cards are dealt. He keeps the frame wide her face, the flames the extinguisher. She's blocking his shoes planted on his own tile. He narrates quietly, address visible fire, obstructed extinguisher, like a calm podcast from a very spicy studio. Another quick laugh so he doesn't break. He mentally scrolls his homeowner's policy, the way people browse brunch menus. Nothing pairs well with arson. Sirens swell from rumor to wall of sound, red and blue watercoloring the wavy glass. He steps back under the stair arch, palms visible, suit ash-dusted like a busted snow globe, shoes squeaking on lemon oil. Boots hammer the porch no-knock remix, and the door bursts inward. 2 officers flood the threshold, eyes skimming past her to lock on him, the scene tilting like a stage light swinging hard left, curtain up. Hands up, voice steady. He does everything by the book, and the book still tries to throw itself at his head. Cuffs click, cool metal bites, and the floral apron arsonist trembles on cue like she's auditioning for Best Supporting Sigh. He explains deed mailbox video while the granite jaw cop watches 5 seconds of footage, pauses right where her loaded descriptor lands, and pockets the phone as evidence, which is like borrowing a life jacket to prove it's tacky. Firefighters swish in white vapor, blooming over scorched cabinets. A neighbor gasps. Another films. The smoke alarm retires to pursue its true passion, tinnitus. Light joke break. He files a complaint with the alarm's manager, gets placed on hold by a kazoo. Seated on his own couch, wrists marked, he answers questions in low tide, date of purchase, prior contact, none oven brand regret, while she folds into a blanket like origami innocence. A paramedic takes her pulse. The officers take her story. Nobody takes the extinguisher that she had blocked like a varsity defender. Quirky tidbit, while we breathe in 18th century America, Homeowners nailed fire marks to the facade so rival brigades knew who'd paid. The wrong mark, and your house got roasted like a marshmallow with ambition. Historians still argue whether those plaques were more insurance billboard or early neighborhood flex. Either way, his brownstone wears no such charm tonight. Enter the fixer, cashmere voice, polished sorrow. Logistics for days, promising repairs while redefining the crime as confusion, the way people call hurricanes breezy. The cuffs come off, but the story sticks like melted sugar on steel. After the last light bar dissolves down the block, he sits in the quiet hum of fans and ash scrolling through public records, because sleep has better lawyers. Preston obituary photo. Then the name that jolts him upright, Arthur, the disgraced executive, whose chair he now occupies. Articles bloom like weeds, data leaks, shell vendors, the whole corporate soap. He doesn't chase revenge, he chases pattern, because pattern is how panic becomes math. Morning brings whispers, office compliments with parentheses, a stray side-eye that overcommits to the role an anonymous comment about wolves in business casual. He laughs once, dry enough to sand a table, and hires a PI named Gene, who looks like he audits cereal, which is perfect. Fire needs water, rumor needs ledger lines. While Gene combs filings in shell companies, he tidies his own perimeter security cameras calibrated so tight they could grade toenails, a journal of every odd car, every off-kilter voicemail, every peppermint left where peppermint shouldn't be. Light joke. He labels the notebook Crocodile SPF as a callback. Remember that crocodile dung sunscreen? Because bias is just sunburn with a tie, and he's done getting scorched. The cake alibi keeps crumbling. The fixer's name shows up near a boutique consultancy with a not-so-boutique address. Staff gossip shifts from poor Agnes to maybe don't CC her. Historians still argue whether the first modern police were London's Bow Street runners or the older Night Watch. But in this living room, the earliest force tonight is narrative, and narrative patrols faster than any cruiser. He declines the hush money mistake package, chooses investigation over anesthesia, and circles one principle in red: if they can bend the story, he will bend the light, slow, patient, documentary bright, until truth shows up on camera and refuses to leave. He asks for a meeting on neutral ground and brings a folder slim enough to look polite and dangerous enough to rattle cutlery. The fixer arrives in that no-wrinkle calm that says, "I have a solution," and a sweater that costs as much as tires. He slides across summaries, shell vendors that park beside a boutique consultancy with the fixer's address baked in like raisins, a timeline that dovetails with the brothers' fall, and a draft agreement that swaps hush money for a restraining order and a promise to stop weaponizing confusion. Light joke, he orders tap water because leverage pairs best with 0 calories in receipts. The fixer's smile flickers like a bad neon sign. The cashmere voice drops a half step. A tendon in his jaw practices Morse code. He doesn't shout. He narrates steady as weather. Your mother blocked the extinguisher. Your brother bled our code. Your firm touched our rival's ledger, and my house became your stage. Remember that crocodile SPF notebook? He sets it on the table for luck because sunburn bias and blowback all punish the unprotected. Historians still argue whether Baker's dozen began as generosity or a hedge against fines, but he's not tossing in extra anything. The count is exact confession treatment distance. Quirky tidbit for the file: medieval bakers who shorted customers sometimes wore their loaves in public as punishment. Tonight the fixer wears consequence bespoke. Crack! It's not loud, it's human. The fixer exhales a year's worth of posture and admits the scaffolding: a jealous brother nudged toward treason, a mother fed on grievance, a son who let a match dangle near someone else's curtains. He agrees. Paper signatures, facility restitution, the whole checklist assembled with the same precision he once reserved for euphemisms. Light joke for the road he signed so quickly the pen files for workers' comp. A notary stamps. The seal thunks like a gavel. The quiet in his chest expands one breath, wider than fear. Days turn procedural, movers of money, movers of furniture, movers of history, contractors erase scorch with clean lines and hinge squeaks. The alarm adopts a less operatic lifestyle, and the cameras learn every leaf by its first name. He sends a gift basket to the PI granola labeled Not Shell Companies and calls his mother twice as often because serenity compounds like interest. The whispers at work evaporate like kettle steam. The fixer goes dim respectable. The brother disappears into a line of ellipses. Light joke his oven now preheats faster than office gossip. And yet he learns the hard equation surviving safe. Some nights a siren still turns his spine to braided wire. Some mornings the light across the new granite looks too clean, like a set that remembers the last scene. So he keeps two things on his porch lamp and the story. Because facts in a folder protect one house. A narrative told out loud protects the next one down the block. Historians still argue whether truth travels faster than rumor. Tonight he gives truth good shoes, a charged phone, and a front row seat at his own kitchen island, where the timer dings and nothing is burning. He pads through the cooled rooms, letting his fingertips trail the new paint, softening his steps until even the floorboards decide not to complain, and the hum in the walls is just electricity doing its quiet, ordinary job, the kind of job no one applauds because it is best when it is barely noticed. The porch light spills a small circle on the stoop, more glow than glare. And beyond it the trees hold their breath as if the whole block understands that peace is a delicate animal that wanders closer when you lower your voice and look away. He rinses a glass, watches the thin river of water catch the under-cabinet light, and takes the long, slow sip that tastes like permission, then sets the glass down with a sound so gentle it might be a nod. He checks the latch once, twice, only because ritual is a kind of lullaby. And tonight it's a tune that drifts easy and unhurried. Not the drum roll of alarms, but the soft brush of rain that hasn't started yet. The camera LEDs blink their calm little metronome. The notebook on the counter is closed. Even the oven, reborn and stainless, wears the quiet the way moonlight wears a lake. If a worry approaches, it does so from a distance, smaller than it used to be, and he lets it pass like a bus. He doesn't need watching its lights glide by without stepping off the curb. He turns the dimmer down one notch, and the room agrees with him. The house is not a fortress tonight, just a place for breath and blankets. In that hush, he offers a last, steady thought. This ended without flames, and tomorrow begins without smoke, and invites you to set your own glass down, to lean back, to let the story close itself like a book that remembers your page. Sleep comes on padded feet. The light stays on just long enough to show the way, then rests.